Right now, tonight at 5 on WHAS11 News. Hardin County students are in mourning today. 2 classmates killed in a car crash. We hear from the school district on how the community is coming together in this time.
And we're in Spencer County, where there's signs of tornado touchdown and concern over when the siren sounded on Sunday night.
And he's barely into his second term as president, but already thinking about a third. One way President Donald Trump has considered skirting around the Constitution to stay in office. WHAS 11 News at 5 starts now.
Life is just so fragile, and as kids, we think we're invincible, and we're really not.
And that is tonight Central Hardin High School student Mason Durham talking to us today, reflecting on the tragic loss of 2 beloved classmates. His high school is offering emergency counseling services after those friends died in a car accident. It is our top story tonight at 5. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining on this Monday. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Shay McAllister. The Hardin County Sheriff's Office says the rollover crash happened on a 2-lane road on the west side of town. Jose Alonso spoke with those grieving just as they begin spring break.
The spring break season began with a tragic start, as Central Hardin High School has 3 juniors and a recent graduate who were involved in a single vehicle accident that claimed the lives of 2 of the students. Debris from the rollover crash on St. John Road is still present, and so are roses and a cross left in the rain by friends.
It's just a hard loss. That's all you can really say. It's unbelievable almost.
The Hardin County Sheriff's Office responded to this scene on Saturday just after 2 in the morning. That's where they found 4 young adults injured from a car accident. Officials say both juniors Gerald Lyons and Tristan Schroeder were ejected out of the windshield and died from their injuries.
I've always had classes with both of them. They were both such a bright light in Central Hardin. Tristan, he always had a smile on his face. It was almost like he never had a bad day. And Gerald was always just so funny and always had something quick to say.
Fellow classmate Mason Durham brought roses for the small memorial off the road.
It's going to be different in the hallways, not seeing their smiles and their laughs, and just going to be different.
Their school immediately began protocol to help any students having difficulty with this loss.
And so this morning we offered a counseling session, we opened the doors since we're on spring break. We haven't had a lot of students show up yet this morning, and that's okay. We know that students mourn and grieve in different ways, and it's different for each student, for each group of students.
We look to provide support in the community that students may have been tied to, also to parents and our staff. We often forget that staff are very connected to students, and we have to look out for their well-being as well.
Counseling services will also be offered as students head back into class next week. In Elizabethtown, Jose Alonso, WHAS 11 on your side.
And Principal Tim Isaacs reached out to the student's family over the weekend, offering his condolences. The district has not heard of any memorial services as of yet. Over in Nelson County, a man is dead after a vehicle was found submerged in a pond last night. Around 11:30, emergency crews were called to Chaplin Road. The caller reported they could see taillights in the water. The county coroner identified the victim as 72-year-old Gregory Phipps. He was pronounced dead at the scene. At this time, officials are working to learn his cause of death, but believe he experienced a medical emergency prior to that crash.
Right now to our stormy weather from late last night. Louisville's National Weather Service confirming at least 1 tornado touchdown here in Jefferson County. According to the National Weather Service, their survey crews were out in the Fairdale neighborhood, and they found damage like this consistent with an EF1 tornado. This is along Mitchell Hill Road today, and the National Weather Service reports that tornado had wind speeds of about 90 miles per hour. Meteorologist Mike Kochasik with the National Weather Service right here in Louisville told us the damage we're seeing across Kentuckiana is pretty accurate to what they expected leading up to last night's storm.
So we were looking at this outlook for several days for a chance for severe weather, and it didn't disappoint. There's damage across the area, including here in Fairdale. So yeah, it's that time of year here in Kentucky, and nighttime tornadoes, no fun.
That's right. You got to be most careful with the nighttime severe weather. The National Weather Service also confirming an EF1 tornado touching down in Bullitt County, about 4 miles south of Shepherdsville, and another in eastern Spencer County. Remember, more severe weather is on the way for Wednesday. Our night team reporters are continuing our coverage of the storm damage cleanup in Bullitt County for a report here tonight at 11. And now's a good time to also download the free WHAS11 app to stay in touch with us through the severe weather. As we've said, we've got one down, one more to go.
A lot that we're still watching here, Mallory.
Yes, it's going to be an active week of weather. So our next severe weather setup looking to be Wednesday evening into Wednesday night. And then beyond that, a heavy rainfall and flood threat really sets up Thursday through the weekend. But here's a look at those confirmed tornadoes so far. All EF1s between 85 miles per hour and 110. That's your EF1 scale there. You're looking at the Fairdale tornado, Bullitt County tornado, Spencer County tornado as well. So the National Weather Service, they always go out and survey damage the day after a tornado warning was issued to see if it was due to tornado damage or straight line wind damage. They also reassess the radar and let you know kind of that estimated wind speed, the track length, and so on and so forth. So of course, we're going to continue to have more details on that on air and online as they continue more surveys. But take a look at the storm reports. You can see a lot of tree damage in terms of these little tree icons that you're seeing here. Wind reports, strong wind reports, hail reports as well. So it was a very strong system that we were expecting yesterday evening and into the overnight hours. At this point, far off to our east and southeast, taking that severe weather threat along with it. So today has been a lot quieter, but a lot cloudier, a lot cooler as well. Temperatures in the 40s and lower 50s. So in comparison to this time yesterday, 20 to 30 degrees colder. That was certainly a strong cold front that did track through the region. Taking all that moisture along with it, our dew points have dipped down into the 30s. They were in the 60s yesterday. That's a measure of our humidity. Throughout the rest of the evening, staying quiet, a little breezy at times. Clouds will gradually decrease and overnight lows will dip down into the 30s. So quiet weather on tap for your Tuesday. That changes again starting on Wednesday. We'll take a deeper dive at that 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, Mallory, thank you. According to LG&E, thousands of customers here in Jefferson County lost power as a result of the storms. That includes people living in Rock Creek off of Lexington Road. Damage near Cannons Lane and Pee Wee Reese Road showed downed trees across the roads and power lines compromised. There are still about 150 customers without power today, according to LG&E. The company does expect the lights to turn back on later tonight. And now to Spencer County. You are looking at storm damage just outside of Taylorsville in Mount Eden. The National Weather Service surveyed at Hickory Ridge Farm today, saying they did find signs of an EF1 tornado there. That is in the eastern part of the county. But people out on the western side of the county are criticizing the county now over the timing of the tornado sirens and when they actually started last night.
Starting today, those warnings will now come earlier. But as our Ian Hardwitt and photojournalist Jessica Farley report, most of those sirens only run so long.
All the sirens were activated and running prior to the storm's even getting into Spencer County at that time, moving in this direction.
All 9 tornado sirens in Spencer County are tied together. If one goes off, they all go off. Emergency Management Director Robert Klingelsmith decides when the siren sounds by making a call to Frankfort. This siren at Spencer County Middle School runs off the power grid, but it has a battery backup. The 6 other sirens surrounding Spencer County, they only run on batteries, which only last for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then they take a full 24 hours to recharge. So Klingelsmith waited to make the call for sirens until those Sunday night storms approached the western part of the county. That way the eastern sirens could keep going as the storm passed through.
We own it. We're good owning it. Whenever any part of Spencer County is issued a tornado warning, I want all 9 of these sirens going. Starting today.
That's the promise from County Judge Executive Scott Travis. He said he's looking at how to fund an expansion of the sirens through a mixture of state and federal grants. Both men acknowledged a failure of Winds Alert, a text message system for emergencies which the county contracts out.
They have assured us that they're working on it and we should have a solution to have it fixed by Wednesday.
And they may need it with more storms on the way. In Spencer County, Ian Hardwitt, WHAS 11, on your side.
Well, if you want to sign up for those alerts, you can text Spencer Alerts to the number you see on your screen. It is 69310.
More of our top stories for you today. No charges are expected after a Metro Police vehicle hit a pedestrian. According to police in Shelbyville, it happened just before 7 a.m. last Friday on Midland Trail, right near Sunset Way there in Shelby County. When officers arrived, they reported seeing a Metro Police cruiser on the site with the officer there trying to help the pedestrian. Through its investigation, the department learned that the pedestrian was trying to cross the highway but not in a crosswalk when the police cruiser from Louisville hit them. The pedestrian was taken to U of L Hospital and is expected to survive. Police say they're waiting for toxicology reports from both the police officer and the pedestrian.
I live by 3 words, 1 creed, duty, honor, Kentucky.
Well, you just heard part of Pamela Stevenson's first official ad for Kentucky's Senate seat on Capitol Hill. The Louisville State Democrat released the ad this morning on social media as part of her campaign to replace Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell. Last month, Senator McConnell announced he wouldn't seek re-election next year, opening his seat for the first time in decades. In the ad, Stevenson relied on her West Louisville roots and military experience as a colonel to lead the Commonwealth. At this time, she and the former Kentucky Attorney General, Daniel Cameron, have announced they are running for senator. And President Donald Trump alluded over the weekend to some options he believes could keep him in the White House for a 3rd term.
That's despite the Constitution's explicit and clear limit on presidents to serve only 2 terms. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the update from Washington.
It's a move that would defy the Constitution. President Trump, 2 months into his 2nd term, says he's considering a 3rd. In a phone call with NBC News, Trump said, quote, "There are methods which you could do it, including having Vice President J.D. Vance run for president, then cede power back to Trump." Trump added that's one approach and that there, quote, "are others too." It's an idea the president and his allies have floated several times before.
I've raised a lot of money for the next race that I assume I can't use for myself, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't know. I think I'm not allowed to run again. I'm not sure. Am I allowed to run again?
The 22nd Amendment of the Constitution states no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. Amending that would require approval from 2/3 of Congress and then ratification by 38 states. Changing the Constitution would be a heavy legislative lift in a narrowly divided Congress and nation. When pressed on Air Force One yesterday, Trump didn't share specifics and didn't respond when asked if he's planning to leave office at the end of his term in 2029.
I didn't want to talk about it. I'm just telling you, I have had more people say, please run again. They said, we have a long way to go before we even think about that.
Some Democratic members of Congress accuse Trump of trying to dismantle democracy. Others, including some Republicans, are dismissing his comments as a joke or a distraction. Trump doubled down yesterday, saying he's not joking. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.